It was the perfect wedding, the guests thought. The groom was Orpheus, the greatest of all poets and musicians. The bride, Eurydice, was a wood nymph. Their love was evident to everyone present, a bond so pure and deep, it seemed eternal. Suddenly, Eurydice stumbled, then collapsed to the ground. By the time Orpheus reached her side, she was lifeless, a venomous snake slithering away through the grass. Overcome with grief after her funeral, Orpheus felt the mortal world could not contain his sorrow. So he resolved to journey to the land of the dead, a place from which no living soul had ever returned, to rescue his beloved. Upon reaching the gates of the underworld, Orpheus strummed his lyre. His music was so hauntingly beautiful that Cerberus, the fearsome three-headed guardian of the dead, lay down and allowed him to pass. Charon, the grim ferryman who charged souls to cross the river Styx, was so moved that he ferried Orpheus across without charge. Before Hades and Persephone, the king and queen of the underworld, Orpheus sang. His voice, filled with love and anguish, told of Eurydice's untimely death. He pleaded that she had been taken too soon, reminding them that all life would eventually belong to their realm forever. Could they not grant her a few more years in the light of the living? When his song ended, all of Hades stood still. Sisyphus ceased pushing his boulder uphill. Tantalus paused in his endless torment of unreachable water. Even the Furies, vengeful spirits of wrath, shed tears. Moved, Hades and Persephone agreed to release Eurydice, but on one condition: Orpheus must not look back to ensure she followed him as he ascended to the world above. If he did, she would be lost forever. Orpheus began the climb, his heart heavy with doubt. The silence behind him was deafening. Was Eurydice truly following? With each step, the urge to turn grew stronger. Finally, as the daylight neared and his fear overwhelmed him, he glanced back. Eurydice was there, but the moment his eyes met hers, she faded, drawn back into the shadows of the underworld. Orpheus tried to return, but the gates were sealed. Heartbroken beyond measure, he vowed never to love another. He retreated to a quiet grove where he sang songs of love and loss. He sang of Ganymede, the mortal boy Zeus made cupbearer to the gods. He sang of Myrrha, whose tragic love for her father brought divine punishment. Of Pygmalion, who sculpted his perfect woman and prayed her to life. Of Venus, who lost her beloved Adonis to a wild boar. Through his music, Orpheus seemed to understand the pain and beauty of love like no other. Yet for some, his grief and poetry were not enough. A band of wild women called the Maenads, enraged that such a passionate poet would not share his love with them, fell into a frenzy. In their jealousy, they tore Orpheus apart. Nature itself mourned. Birds fell silent. Rivers wept with the songs of their currents. The world had lost two great souls. But in the underworld, Orpheus found peace. Reunited with Eurydice at last, they now walk the shores of the river Styx. Sometimes they stroll side by side. Sometimes she leads, and sometimes he takes the lead, turning back to look at her as often as he pleases.